Hey guys, welcome back. If you don't know me, my name is Chris Swain. I'm a local realtor here in the Katy and Sugar Land areas. Today I want to just talk to you about reasons why you would want to hire a realtor. Now, obviously, full disclosure, that's what I do. I am a realtor. So do I think that you need to hire a realtor? The answer is yes in most cases. There are a couple scenarios where it wouldn't be advantageous to actually hire a realtor. So two reasons that I can think of right now, and there's probably more, where you probably don't need to hire that realtor. The first one would be if you're selling a very distressed home, maybe it's a lot value home, and you have a lot of investors that are interested, and you're getting those cash offers. I don't see a big advantage of hiring a realtor in that situation. And the other scenario would be if you're selling your house to a friend or a neighbor or a relative that you guys had mutual trust, and you decide just to close with an attorney or a local title company. You're able to drop those basic contracts, and there's really no negotiation or no surprises, and it's somebody that you trust. I feel like that could be a scenario where you don't really need a realtor. But for a vast majority of the sales in the United States and really throughout the world, you're going to want someone who's an expert, who does negotiations, who's able to get your house in front of more people. So if you look at all the studies done by your local MLS or the National Association of Realtors, they're all going to show that a home listed with an actual licensed realtor sells for more money. A home that's sold as a for sale by owner or a FSBO, as people call them. And there's a couple reasons behind that. First of all, if you have a house listed with a realtor, you can put it on the MLS, which basically means it's way more visible. You're going to get eyeballs from your local town, your state, nationwide, and then worldwide. I've had interest from 2 listings I have right now from India, and that's because they're on the MLS, and people are able to search for properties here in Houston. So they have a graduate student and they're looking to buy properties here. So it's very simple for them to get on the internet while we're sleeping here and they're looking at properties. There's a lot more visibility if you have something on the MLS. The second thing is, if you hire a realtor, you now have someone that's dedicated to getting your house sold. So they don't get paid if your house doesn't sell. So they're going to put a lot of time, effort, resources, money into making sure that your house is in front of the most people possible to get it sold. If they're not providing that value to you to get your house sold, because that's why you hired them, you want the result of your house is now sold and you can move on, whether that's buying another house or moving away or moving across town. The end result that you want is you want your house sold. So when you hire a realtor, you've hired someone dedicated, as long as they're a professional realtor, to making sure that happens. So visibility and someone dedicated to getting your house sold are 2 major factors in why when you do hire that realtor, they typically sell for more money. For most people, their house is their biggest asset that they're ever going to own in their life. So the mindset of DIY, I can sell this myself, it is possible. Those scenarios that we talked about earlier, the most common reasons of why you would not use a realtor. But do you really want to trust your biggest asset, something that can help towards your retirement, create generational wealth? Do you want to trust that, all the legal documents and negotiations? Do you want to trust that to someone who doesn't do that? Or would you rather have someone who's professional, who has contacts throughout the business, who knows the lenders, who has a list of buyers, who knows the investors? Do you want to put that in their hands, or is that something that you would want to handle yourself? I think if you were honest with yourself, you'd probably say, yeah, more than likely, this should be handled by a professional who does this every single day. The most typical goal for a seller is to 1, save money, and 2, sell for top dollar. Now, the mindset that most of us have is, if I don't hire a realtor, I am now saving money. And that's true in a vacuum. If you just took this scenario of, if I don't hire you, I'm now saving money, yeah, but you're not going to get top dollar in most cases. And when you get top dollar, you're actually going to make more than the commission you're paying out, and someone else is handling all the legal paperwork, the negotiations, holding deals together, which many times fall apart, especially in FSBOs, because the contracts, people aren't used to reading the contracts and don't know exactly what's in them. So a lot of the FSBOs, they do end up falling out just because of lack of knowledge. Let's talk about the contract and the legally binding paperwork real quick. That's a very, very important part of the home selling process. There's not just a contract. There's other legally binding paperwork in there, seller's disclosure, depending on where you're located, if you're seaward of an intercoastal waterway, if you're in a HOA, if you're in a MUD. There's so many addendums. If they're not done right, you can be liable and have to pay fines, fees. Your contract may not go through, which is going to end up costing you more money, depending on the violation. It's just something you want to consider when you're making that decision. If you actually want to hire a realtor or not, is, am I capable of doing this paperwork correctly that's legally binding? Am I ready to take on that responsibility? And then the last thing, among others, is the negotiation of the actual deal. This is where it gets really tricky. The best case scenario, you have multiple offers and you can choose the best offer with the quickest close. That's most likely to be funded. That's a very tricky situation. It can get kind of hairy depending on what type of loan is coming in. Is it cash? Is the money foreign money? Is it tied up in an FHA loan? You know, there's just a lot of different avenues, and you may not know what you're looking at when an offer comes in. So many times negotiations need to be held together at the very end. There could be something off in the appraisal report, or a repair that was supposed to be fixed is not fixed. There's a lot of amendments that go into the negotiations, as well as not just the communication. So that's another thing you need to determine is, am I capable of handling these negotiations to ensure I'm still getting top dollar and the house actually closes in the end. I hope this video was helpful to you. I'm here in the Katy and Sugar Land areas. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out. My number has been posted throughout this video, along with my Instagram and my Facebook. We'll talk to you.